Well, we reached the halfway point in Season 3 of my Immersive Driver Career Mode with Red Bull. Today we've got the Hungarian Grand Prix, which has been a happy hunting ground in previous years. We did alright here last year, finishing in 4th position, while our teammate Charles Leclerc finished in 11th. And Season 1 we actually managed to finish in 7th position for the Alpine team. So the pace should be good round here, but, you know, we have had our fair share of incidents in the last few Grand Prix, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't come across that this weekend. So let's see how we get on in qualifying. Here we come up to the line then, and it is a 1:14.3, which is quicker than Hamilton actually. A little bit slower than our teammate Max Verstappen, and that's a little spin for us, unfortunately. But
We've only got
it should be enough to get through to Q2. Well, there we go, comfortably through in 13th place. Happy with that. So let's see how we get on in Q2. Looks like the track is rubbering in very nicely. I can't get my words out today. I'm not drunk, I promise. Well, we come up to the line. That's not been a very good lap. Only a 1:14.5. That is not going to be anywhere near good enough to get through to Q3. So we're going to run round again.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
See how we get on. George Russell just ahead of us on track there. Possibly just a bit of a distraction, but already a bit of a squirmy first sector. That was a nice little turn 4 there. And now, well, we're just about okay. Good job we didn't break the suspension there. We've lost the front wing, but we should be okay to continue on. Well, here we come up to the line. It's not much quicker, but it's enough to get to 7th place. The times are very, very close. And, well, the track does seem a little bit slower than it was this time last lap. We go a little bit wide there, and that's going to cost us on the run down to turn 2. Down to 8th now. Hamilton just ahead of us, down to 9th. Well, down to 10th. Are we going to get through or not? That's the big question. I don't think we'll have enough fuel to get round, and we have slipped up again. Yellow flags. We'll have to wait for Ricciardo to boom round. Wait over at the right, let the Aston Martin, AlphaTauri and other AlphaTauri through. We got an Alpine coming through as well, and a Mercedes, and now should be able to get through. But we're still currently in 10th, just waiting for everybody to come through. But that is another incident on our second lap. These tyres are not lasting, and once again we spin. Tyres just have overheated. And that brings out the yellow flags. I mean, surely nobody is going to improve now. I think we're okay. We let the Aston Martin and the McLaren through. And they'll come through and finish their time. But look at that. We're just miles off the pace. And these tyres are going to be shot. These are our race tyres for tomorrow. If we are going to get through in 10th place. But yes, we are all over the place. Nobody else has improved. But luckily for us, we are through to Q3. So there you go then. And a couple of 5-place grid penalties. One for Lewis Hamilton and one for Sebastian Vettel. I'm not entirely sure what that was for. Let's just have a little look. So illegal blocking, they both get that for. So that's a bit of an opportunity to you know, qualify a little bit higher up the grid. We have got one new set of tyres. Hopefully they're going to be brilliant. Let's see how they get on in Q3. Well, here we come, up to the line then. What's it going to be as we cross the line? It's a 1:13.8, but that, unfortunately, is only P10. Our best lap by far, a purple first sector, but for some reason in that middle sector, we just have not got the same pace.
It's time to remind ourselves
Look
of
at
our
Max
top
Verstappen.
three: Verstappen, Hamilton, and Valterri Bottas. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So once again, Max Verstappen, pole position, spoiling the party for Lewis Hamilton there at the top of the standings, and well, we bookend the top 10. First and 10th for Red Bull, but another bad day at the office for us, and you have to say this is starting to look pretty critical at Red Bull. We are just not quite on the same level as Max Verstappen in this car, and he's shown what it's capable of.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. Historically, a good race for first victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaroring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking has always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile circuit, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. Let's hope we're in for another one here today. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn one?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn one as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso and Norris, Hamilton, Gasly, Giovinazzi and the captain, Tsunoda, Perez, Lance Stroll and Russell, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Esteban Ocon and Sebastian Vettel, Joe and Nikita Mazepin. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Here we go then, down on the track, and well, it's going to be a pretty bog standard race. I think in the past we have started outside the top 10 and took the alternate strategy. Obviously that is not going to be an option today, but we will try our best. We'll see how we get on. It's a long run down to turn 1, and that's going to be an opportunity today for us to do something good. Already got pretty worn soft tyres, unfortunately, so that's not going to help us. We need to get them up to temperature. We need to basically have a 3-race sprint race with ourselves on these tyres, take everything out of them possible, and then jump in the pits and try and get an undercut. I think that's possibly what we're going to look for today. But we've seen how well it worked out last time at Silverstone. The undercut doesn't always pay off, and that led to us having a last lap incident with the man in front of us today, Antonio Giovinazzi. So it is going to be critical that we get in front of him early on, try and make sure we are racy as possible, and we are going to have a big go down into turn 1, I think, today. I don't think we particularly got anything to lose, but look at that. Once again, an incident on the formation lap. We've got to be very, very careful with the tyres. Let's not wear them out. Looks okay. Should be fine. Oh my goodness. Once again, just losing it a little bit, but we should be okay on the run down to turn 1. The tyres should have enough time to cool down back into the optimum window. But here we go. One more burnout, please. No, not going for it. So here we go. We line up, stop nicely onto the yellow box.
Keep an eye on
Here
the
we
lights.
go.
The start sequence will begin
Ready
as soon as the grid has
for
formed.
the start
Be
of
ready
this
with the clutch.
Hungarian Grand Prix. The lights are on. We reach optimal revs and we are lights out. Away we go here in Hungary. It's not a bad getaway off the line, but people swamping us in the second phase of the start as we go into turn 1. Oh, just about avoid Pierre Gasly, but we are just about okay. A little bit of contact behind, but I think we're alright. It's Lando Norris on our inside. We have the outside line and we managed to hold him off. So somehow we managed to make our way up to 8th place in this Grand Prix as Lewis Hamilton having a look into turn 4 on Daniel Ricciardo. This is a big, big move. And it's Pierre Gasly now that is in front of us. Can we get past him into this slow section? Well, yes we can. Nice move. Went all the way around the outside there. Well, at the end of lap 1, we've made it up to P7. Probably our best start of the year, but Max Verstappen is leading the race from Valterri Bottas. Lewis Hamilton has got ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. He's going to want to make his way through the field, but overtaking is not easy around the Hungaro ring. But we got to try our best. Well, you join me on lap 4 as we are about to come into the pits to try and get the undercut. Pace was pretty good, sticking with Daniel Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton ahead. But now we come into the pit lane and hopefully...
Release.
2.5 seconds. Hopefully now, with the fresh tyres, we can go out there, put in a couple of really good laps and get the undercut on those guys. I think this is the perfect time to do it. Here we go.
That was our last stop. No
Into
more scheduled pit
the
stops.
clear air. Onto the medium tyres, and okay, that might cost us later on in the Grand Prix, but hopefully the fresh rubber now will give us the extra performance we need. We need a hell of an outlap now. Well, Fernando Alonso out of the session, not entirely sure what's happened to
Yellow
him.
flag.
Assume an engine
Be
failure.
aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Well, here we go. There's Ricciardo and Hamilton. Are we going to come out ahead of them? I think we are. Oh, it's going to be so close. We are through. We are through on Hamilton and Ricciardo. Hamilton going to have a little look into turn 2 here, but we managed to stay ahead. So the undercut worked perfectly there. And now the other guys will be panicking because they have left their drivers out another lap. Just got to stay ahead of Hamilton and Ricciardo now. Well, here we come onto the pit straight then. And you can see there's a big gaggle of cars coming out of the pit lane. And we are ahead of them. We are ahead of them. There is Valtteri Bottas. So the undercut has worked beautifully. Still a few guys out there on the soft tyres. Can we close in on Valtteri Bottas and get in his DRS train? Well, there's Charles Leclerc. He's managed to make a potential overcut work here. He's ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Wow, well, both Mercedes cars out of the podium places. And Charles Leclerc is ahead of Bottas. That's going to help bring us into the mix, as well as Hamilton behind. Well, you join me on lap 12, and we are just about sticking to the DRS of Valtteri Bottas, but the tyres are starting to scream for dear life now. They really are struggling, and the problem is, as soon as we've dropped out of that DRS window to Bottas, Hamilton is going to be all over us. Well, lap 13 you join me, and we haven't got DRS. But luckily, we managed to stay in front of Lewis Hamilton. Well, now Bottas has dropped out of the DRS window of Charles Leclerc, so this makes him vulnerable now. You can see how much we're closing up in the DRS zones. So, got to spend a lap basically behind him. We had this last year with Fernando Alonso. We've got to spend a lap this close to him, save up the ERS,
We have 5 laps
and then
of fuel
unleash.
remaining.
Well, where did that come from?
Good.
That
Good
was a
job. Nice
ridiculous
overtake.
overtake. Let's have a look at this again. We were so far back. Have a look at this though. I think we almost just outbraked ourselves, and Bottas braking a little bit earlier left the gap. And we are through. Unbelievable. And we got the DRS to run away from Bottas now, and hopefully we can get into Charles Leclerc's DRS zone. But we're on the podium.
This is your final lap of the race.
Our final lap of the race, and Bottas has come in. I don't know where the incident was. It certainly didn't seem to
Pulling
be
out
with
a
us.
second lap on the car behind.
I thought that we'd managed to keep it clean. I don't know, maybe you guys can point out where the incident was. Perhaps he had an incident with
There's only
Hamilton
one lap of
behind,
fuel
because Hamilton
remaining.
is only, well, he's
Gap to
2
car in
seconds
front is
behind now.
1.6 seconds.
Went a little bit wide there. That was our first mistake of the whole Grand Prix. And it may well put us under pressure from Lewis. We're not going to manage to catch up to Charles Leclerc. We have had 2 track extension warnings, so I think we need to focus on keeping ourselves out of trouble now. But what a result this will be if we do finish 3rd after qualifying 10th. You know, it was a risky first corner, but we managed to pull off some great overtakes, and we managed to get past Bottas in the end in the Mercedes. But Max Verstappen wins the Hungarian Grand Prix, 2 in a row for him. Charles Leclerc finishes 2nd. We come over the line and finish in 3rd and pick up our 2nd podium
Nice work. You did
of
well
the
today.
season.
I think the boss will be happy with that one.
It's a performance to be proud of today from our Hungarian Grand Prix winners. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
It's amazing, all of a sudden we're starting to get some good results as a team. We could have had 7th in Britain, and although that wouldn't have been the win that Max got, followed up by this podium here from 10th on the grid, things are going in the right direction. So there you go. And well, you know, I think we got to be incredibly happy with that. Look at this, look at all the XP that we're getting. This is crazy. But
it's a great result for Lewis
what
Hamilton,
a result
who moves
for the team.
further ahead at the top of the table. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Some amazing talents out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to the captain. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern day Formula One.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, there you go. We're back up to 8th in the driver's standing. Still a long way behind our teammate Max Verstappen, but you know, we gotta take the positives out of this. We've got the Belgian Grand Prix coming up, which of course we absolutely dominated from start to finish last year, the pole and the victory, and that was our first win in Formula One, I believe. So you know, we gotta go out there and we've got to be confident about being able to do that again with a faster car this season. And Mercedes leading the way in the constructors. We took a dent out of them today. Lewis Hamilton only finishing 4th on the road, and there's still 4 drivers very much in this championship: Hamilton, Alonso, Bottas, and Max Verstappen. If we pull together a little streak, maybe we could feature ourselves, but our main target is 4th at this year's championship. So that's where we'll leave it for today. If you have enjoyed that, give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for more F1 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.